Well, hello and welcome and hello. Thank you for tuning in to another, I won't say an exciting edition of Un Poco Mas, but it is an edition of Un Poco Mas. That's pretty much the most I can say for it. At this point, I do not anticipate greatness with this live stream, guys. I anticipate a whole lot of mediocrity, rambling. Um, Basically, if you have time to kill, stick around. If you want to talk SoFi stock, stick around. If you're looking for some type of groundbreaking, intelligent discourse, switch channels now, folks, because you're just not going to get that here. Guys, really rough day on the markets today. Nasdaq basically got bent over a barrel, showed the 50 states down 220 points or 1.62. S&P similarly was down 1.34%. Of course, this was back to the old days where the market's down 1% and SoFi and even some of the other fintechs get absolutely massacred. So SoFi was down 48 cents, almost 6% on the day. The only good news I could see there was that volume picked up, cost to borrow was high. Um, so there are actors out there on the other side of these trades, on the other side of these shorts that are willing to punish the shorts, make them pay when they drive the stock down. There's not that many shares available. There's not as many shares available as it seems. I talked about a concept in my video yesterday called false float, where I believe this is a unique stock in that there is a bit of a SoFi cult around this stock. Um, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not saying, you're waiting for Xenu to come put you on a, 727 and fly you into a volcano or something. What I'm saying is, that people have a lot of conviction and that a lot of times retail traders are very jumpy. Obviously, that's been the case. That's how they make money. Guys, market makers make money around earnings. That's where they really skin people around the SoFi stock. That's where the stock tends to make huge moves. Just something interesting if you look at the volume indicators, which come in along the bottom of these charts here. Um, you'll notice that after the pump and dump on the ER, the algo has kicked in and the volume has just been extremely consistent every single day. You see the previous quarter from April, May, June, there was a huge variance in the volume. There were these big days, small days, lots of ups and downs. There was obviously that, huge pump from 5 to 10 that only took 3 weeks. But this last quarter, the algo has absolutely locked on to the stock, pushed it around wherever it wanted. So volume ticking up today, guys. The last week we've seen 22, back down to 16, up to 18. So for volume to hit, 26 million on the day, it's not a horrible sign because they're working awfully hard to drop that price. And Upstart was down 8%, Affirm down 5.86%, SoFi down 5.82. If you look at the 1 day chart and then you look at a stock like Neo, you look at a million other growth stocks, the same algorithms were selling those stocks off. I don't think it necessarily means retail was dumping. If you look at the end of the day, there's some big buys coming in. The stock is actually up 9 cents or getting 1.16% back after hours. So people are asking me, Danny Deals, what's going to happen around earnings? How should I trade it, Danny Deals? Should I buy leaps? Should I buy options? No. You shouldn't play it. You shouldn't trade it. You're a moron. Stop playing stocks. Stop trading stocks. Stop timing stocks. Stop going in and out of stocks. The only thing you should be timing is your entry point. You know, don't buy, don't chase, don't buy FOMO. There's always dips, there's always more stocks. SoFi is not going to announce a cure for cancer and the stock is going to run away like crazy. Even if they announce, you turds. I mean, I like to talk up SoFi. I like to have my head in the clouds. I like to have my head up my ass half the time or in the clouds. It's one of the two places. It's either very dark or it's very bright. It's either very fresh or it's very unfresh. But let's put it this way. just have a sober, realistic view of how stocks work. If you were in Tesla, if you were in Amazon, those stocks were pushed down to zero when they were doing, starting to do sales, but they were still losing money, and people shorted the bejesus out of those stocks. Like, you get more than one opportunity, guys. It always seems like the train is leaving and there's not going to be another train, but look at the goddamn schedule. There's another train coming next hour. Don't chase the train, get run over, lose your leg, all kinds of things can happen. So just have a good sense of where you want to buy the stock and let the stock come to you. Don't chase the stock. A lot of people, they're like, and of course, when I say a lot of people, I'm projecting. I mean me. We said last time, we're like, look at the deposit growth. Now they can't deny us. Now institutions are going to come in. We're never going to see seven again. We're never going to. And we didn't like really break down that badly, in my opinion. I just think, it was what it was. When you saw the stock pushed from 850 down to 720, um, there was a massive increase in the short, or a big increase in the short. So I don't think that was organic selling. I don't think, returners were dumping retailers. I just, of course, some get triggered, some stop losses, some weak hands, but the core group is getting tighter and tighter. I mean, I look at us, the SoFi cult, the turd army, almost like an institution. If you play it smart, guys, play it smart. It's so easy. People are like, what's your system? Some guy on my comments was like, you're not qualified to say anything. Like, how do you know what gal? Of course I don't. This is YouTube, you freaking turds. None of us are qualified. Have you heard Stock Mo? He has like 5 million views. He probably makes millions of dollars or some absurd amount of money doing this. Like, I used to teach at the high school level. What the fuck does that mean? You taught at the high school level? You were a high school teacher. You're a moron. You're telling everyone to buy these horrible cryptos. You've got a cat. Your main qualifications are a tagless generic black baseball cap and a cat. And I mean, this goes for so many people on YouTube. I'm hearing these guys, they just say ridiculous things. They recommend ridiculous stocks. If I'm going to give you a ridiculous penny stock, I'm going to tell you, chances are you're going to lose money, you freaking turds. I don't know why I'm on such a rant, guys. I'm just like super wound up from income tax. I had to redo all my tax returns at the last minute. I had a big problem. My accountant of like 3 decades retired. I've been looking for somebody new. I haven't been able to find anybody good. I have to file tax returns in several states. I have, different projects, and it was just an absolute nightmare. So I'm ready to strangle the first person that I see, the first person that just has anything bad to say about the SoFi stock. But guys, we know Noto Claus is sliding down our chimney in 7 trading days. It's only 1 week away as the crow flies, and I don't know. Have we been naughty? Have we been nice? Have we been stupid? Have we been big, huge turd Karens that do nothing but complain and whine about short-term price action? Well, we don't count our blessings. Guys, I was buying the SoFi stock today at 780, 778. I picked up like 700 shares. I'm like, if I really believe the stock is currently worth 12 bucks and is going to be worth 13.75 after gap net profit, why not take the little bit of money the IRS didn't bend me over for and buy some SoFi stock? Let's buy some SoFi stock, guys. And obviously that's not advice because, as the gentleman in my comments pointed out, I'm not qualified to give you advice. And I would dare do it. He's like, don't like him. It's like, I've never wanted him. It's like Mugatu, talking about Zulu. Now that I can't have him, I want him. Anyway, guys, let's see if anybody is watching. There are 18 souls on board. Who's here? Not a lurker, of course, and his domestic partner, Beach Boy, who I am convinced are connected at the hip. I'm just joking, guys. These guys seem to be good friends. I think one of them is in Israel. Is that not true? Um, Good to see you, boys. Tyler Self, what's up? Tyler Self, the catfish with a K. Look up Tyler. The guy's hilarious, and he does some great SoFi live streams. Thank you for joining me today, Tyler. Yeah, I was buying today too. I'm gonna try to spit out some knowledge at you, brother. I can't play the guitar. Like I said, if I could sing and play the guitar, I'd just, pick up chicks at bars and not have to work so hard and invest. But I already picked up the best chick in the world, Princess J, so don't really need to go there. Honey, if you're watching, I love you. She's probably not watching. I believe she's out shopping right now at Ross or someplace. Where she could pick up something for our new business, her new business. Congratulations, by the way, baby, on your new enterprise. Not a lurker anymore. Sure, bro. What's up? Manny's weight loss. Hello from Chicago. What's up, Manny? Spit some knowledge. I'm trying, guys. Please sing for us, Danny. What do you want to hear, Tyler? What would make you happy? Um, I don't have the best voice in the world, but I'd be happy to, play you off a tune. He's like, sing us a song, you're the Sofi man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for an earnings beat, and you've got us feeling alright. Well, Tyler's here in my comments, and Jay Nelson too. Costas Bezos has joined us. What are you turds gonna do? I don't know, guys. That's the best I could do, Tyler. Um, what's going on, guys? Hey, Tommy Dimes. I have not seen Tommy Dimes here before. I need the stock at 20. Yeah, Tommy, it's not, it's actually a lot more. I think you could actually see this stock back at 20, like end of 2024. I don't think it's going to take forever. We just have to see the growth hold up, the deposits hold up. Banks make profit, you turds. Do you not understand that? Look at Bank of America. They made it. They have $131 billion in unrealized losses on their stupid low interest bonds. They put all their money in. What a bunch of turds. And they still turned in a great earnings report, guys. Why? Because they screw their customers over and their Wall Street operation is doing good. Because Wall Street prints money. IPOs print money. That's why I've got a whole list of stuff I want to talk about. But as usual, I completely lost my train of thought. Hamster on crack. Hamster on crack. Um, What's going on? Jay Nelson, hold me, Danny. Whoa, let's go. Nice, not a lurker anymore. Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks, Tyler. I'll sing you a few bars there. You guys want to hear something specific? I'd be happy to. But I am just a small town boy, guys. I was born and raised in South Detroit. I took a midnight train and it dropped me off here because I couldn't pay the fare anymore because I spent all my money on SoFi stock. But guys, let me move on because I will just spend all day blah blahing. Taking a look at the chart, guys. I am the chart master, so I got a clean pair of tidy whities on for you guys. Yes, it sold off 50 cents today, and it's a big red candle. This is not different than this pattern we saw right here. Two red candles, two recovery candles, a green candle, and a huge red candle. And then right after that, the stock absolutely popped. So usually the stock double tests support. You see that here, a double test of support. You see it here, a double test of support, and then it flies. Double test of support, and then it flies. Double test of support, and then it flies. And this check here doesn't bother me. It's exactly what happened right here, coming off of this double bottom, coming off of the same support line. So, you know, I think the chart looks absolutely fine, guys, coming into earnings. I thought it would move up into earnings, and I still think it's going to move up into earnings. Remember, guys, right here, the stock went from like I don't know what that is. You got to get your chart out here. I hate these Yahoo charts. The stock went from $7.60 to $10.23 from 6/8 to 6/14. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trading days from 760 to over 10. So guys, it doesn't it the way it sets up and the way it looks right now doesn't necessarily mean that the stock is failing or anything. Market makers are setting us up for earnings and they're increasing the short. Like they're increasing the short. So they're I'm looking at a pump next week and a dump on earnings. I don't think they want to pump after earnings. I think they're going to get caught. You know, I think this might be, they're saying, oh, we're going to easily add $2 billion in bank deposits. What if they add $4 billion in bank deposits? I mean, people think that's inconceivable, but last quarter it was like 3 billion, and they have a lot more members now, a lot more people doing direct deposit. When you have all these customers doing direct deposit, oh my god, guys, I almost knocked over my hair accent light. Um, I get these super cheap lights from eBay, and the stands are made of some low grade popsicle stick recycled ice trays, and they just fall over quite easily because the center of mass extends past the base of support. So if you don't have the tripod set just right, it'll fall over and hit you right in the face. Oh, it's a hazard. But I have insurance against all that stuff. Anyway, guys, if you want to talk charts, if you want to talk, I just look at this thing like it's just ready. It's just stepping up. Like there's nothing wrong with this chart. It'd be like, oh, it's a downtrend. It's not a downtrend, guys. The stock's moving sideways. It's already tested this line 4 times. This line's absolutely fine. We failed at the 50-day average the last few days. You got to knock it down. We failed. I mean, we failed 50-day average really to break through it here. We failed again. It's not a good sign. We made a lower high. Um, we made two lower lows, but we came off of that very, very convincingly. And as long as I think we recover somewhat into earnings, it's if they drive the stock, if they keep the stock below 8 into the ER, I can almost assure you of an immediate pump and dump. It's just gonna happen. There's just absolutely no doubt. There's really one new rating, guys. Michael Perito with KBW, very bearish, but a very very good analyst. Number 451 out of 8,500 and 1,200 out of 3,600. So this guy's like the top, top 5% of analysts easily, has a 60% success rate. His average return is 12.7. So he's very good. He put a SoFi, he's been a hold basically on the SoFi stock, reiterated the hold twice, June and July. But when the stock went all the way up to $11.45, where again, I dumped and flipped some shares, I bought them all back and a lot more since. So I own way more shares of the SoFi stock than is prudent, is even thinkable. But he basically downgraded to a sell. He's like, and his logic was sound, guys. I don't mind an analyst with a sell rating on the SoFi stock if they back it up with logic, back it up with numbers. And he sees the stock coming back down below $8, and he upgraded from a sell to a hold. I think his price target is still $7.50. Which I'm not in love with. I think that's very very low. I think the stock is easily worth over $10 at this time. But I do like that he acknowledged that the stock is now not overbought, and the stock at least represents a hold, and that's a good thing. He's an excellent 5-star analyst. So while it's not a flaming upgrade with a huge price target increase, he's saying buy, buy, buy. He's not some chatty Cathy doll like Danny Deals. Just buy SoFi, buy SoFi. You pull your own strings. Like, and anecdotes should have a point. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, just an absolute classic. But an upgrade's an upgrade, guys. I'll take it. I mean, with the news of not bologna sandwich. What's that asshole's name? Chia Pet, David Chia Verini. He said he was upgrading, and then he didn't move the price target. He went from I think a sell to a hold, but he's still at $3. So they didn't even think. Goodness, Tip Ranks didn't even bother to move him up because he's such a turd. I mean, I don't even think they want to deal with him. And really, who could blame you? Who wants to deal with the Chia Pet? You got to water him. He grows a little bit. It's very disappointing, and you just throw him away. I like Dan Dolev at 15. You got to think, Dan Dolev, even though he's 1 star and he doesn't have a huge return on this site, his price target is actually double Michael Perito. And most people, credible people, fall somewhere in that 750 to $16 price range. So I look, it'd be nice if tip ranks would just throw out, or people who average these things out would just throw out outliers like the Chia Pet. You see like numerous people like Andrew Jeffrey, who's 5 star at 16, and then Dan Dolev is at 15. John Hecht with Jeffries, who's also at 15, also 5 star analyst. So most of the 5 star analysts actually have the stock at 15 and 16, but we do have to acknowledge Michael Perito down here, 750, but at least moving from a sell to a buy. Guys, nothing going on whatsoever on Seeking Alpha. You just notice a lot of the sentiment. It's been shifting back and forth. The articles, the sentiment in the press have been moving very, very rapidly, and it's hard to sort of put your finger on the pulse, if you will, sort of check the oil of the market because it just moves around so fast. Like you see, one thing you're consistently seeing, guys, is inflation is not coming down easy, and there's going to have to be, there's going to have to probably be more interest rate hikes. Whether there's one this year or they just hold through the rest of the year and see how things are happening, but bottom line, guys, energy prices going up, food prices are just through the roof. If you've been to the grocery store, you know that. Like, go in for some nice cage-free, free-range eggs, and just be prepared to pay $1 an egg. Um, you know, I don't know if these are magic eggs. I don't know if you plant them and they grow like a giant beanstalk. I don't know if they came out of a golden goose and you just got that one egg that wasn't solid gold, that you're paying solid gold prices. And if you remember solid gold, guys, oh boy, if you're old enough, the solid gold dancers. Ooh la la, those fuchsia, those lavender leotards and all the hand warmers and stuff, the Jerry curl. Ooh baby. Who do we have in the house? Who's in the house? Who's here? The call is coming from inside the house. Who's here? You kids, you get out of here. Hedge funds trading it back and forth. Yep, exactly. That's kind of what the market, that's kind of what the whole market is, man. It's just computers trading back and making money from retail, making from it money from each other. Danster on crack, absolutely. We got Hybrid Duncan. How's it going? I was buying up Punisher shorts. Absolutely. Very nice. Yeah, I bought at where the hell did I buy? I bought at 780 and then I think I bought it like 777. I don't want to pull up my stupid account right now because my SoFi account will probably malfunction and time out and I'll get angry and I'll end up saying bad things about SoFi that I'll regret the next day and I'll say, SoFi, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean that. I was just angry. I didn't mean to hurt you. And SoFi will say to me, F you, you big fat turd. I do so much for you. And that's another thing when I was talking about Bank of America is like, how does Bank of America make so many bad bets, so many bad decisions? They've got that little, sort of midgety looking, like, looks like kind of like the fighting Irish guy. He's their CEO, Moynihan or whatever. I think that was a Senator Moynihan. I might have his name wrong, but anyway, they went through like all the big banks like Bank of America, so much turnover at the CEO. The only stability has been Jamie Dimon, and you know not surprisingly, Chase has a lot less bad bond bets, unrealized. Of course, these are unrealized losses. They're not. If you hold these bonds to maturity, you get all your money back. But it takes a lot of patience, and you have to tie up the capital for a long, long time. But that's when they say bonds are risk free. Yes, if you hold them to maturity, you know what you're going to get. But if you're selling and buying them on the market, they're like any other asset, and they move based on market factors and based on supply and demand. And let's face it, the government is throwing so much debt on the onto the market that they're having to pay higher and higher interest rates. It's competing with everything else. I mean, your mortgage, if you got a goddamn 30-year fixed mortgage right now, you're probably going to pay 8.5%. And it's like that used to be like a credit card rate. So I mean, that's what I want to talk about. Like, how does SoFi differentiate? Why do statistics show customers are fleeing mega banks? It's like, okay, the mega bank, I just checked rates like for savings accounts, they're still paying 0.05%. And if you have like up to 100,000, they pay 0.02. And then if you have over $100,000, they pay 0.05. So instead of, shoving a nickel up your ass at the end of the year, you're going to shove a dime up your ass. And that's a little bit easier because it's smaller and it's a little bit more money. But I mean, then they charge you, 34.99% interest on your credit card if you miss a payment or you do something wrong, or God forbid you overcharge your checking account. They have things arranged so they can hit you with like 4 overdraft fees. I mean, my friend, she was out of work and she's like looking at her bank account. She's like, there's so many overdraft fees all on the same day. It's like the way they hit people is just absolutely insane, guys. Um, yeah, so I want to talk about basically the short guys has increased. You see this right here. Just when was this? October 2nd, it was down to 12.26, climbed to 12.5, and then back up to like 13.5% of the free float. Now, again, you see these things that don't necessarily make sense in context. They're saying today the borrowed change is negative 720,000 shares, meaning they returned that many more shares than they borrowed. So they're saying shorts are giving up. But then cost to borrow max is almost 9%. And then utilization also up. So what's going on? Like utilization is up to 31%. And if you look in the last 7 days, free float on loans pretty much been flat. Shares on loan, a lot of these things are flat. Cost to borrow down very slightly. But if you look at the short guys, it's historically for the SoFi stock quite high. So if we get a surprise, and when will we ever get a surprise out of dear Noto Claus? So much. He doesn't give us a lump of coal in our stocking, but he certainly doesn't give us that, PS5 or that go kart. He gives us, like a trapper keeper or something, like just something practical, like a nice winter jacket. This is from me and your grandmother. It's a nice winter jacket. You're like, fuck. Again, I have like 8 jackets. Give me some goddamn money, Grandma and Grandpa. You guys are loaded. I don't need another jacket. My parents will buy me a jacket. This is bullshit. Give me something I can use. Don't give me a necessity. Come on. All right. Who's talking? Let's see. LOL. Mr. Premium, I saw you posted on Discord. Okay, you're talking to other people. Calv88. And your money well paid. Yes, yeah. I mean, exactly, Calv88. It's like they're screwing you and they're laughing at you, and people still leave all their money. And why? Why? Oh, why indeed? Why ask why? Because SoFi does not offer that one-stop shop. They're talking about one-stop shop. The app is not there. The trading platform is certainly not there. I still can't sell covered calls on SoFi. I did buy some long-term call options on SoFi today, which is a nice addition. You can buy options now, but just calls. It's very, very basic. To have no covered calls at this point is, I mean, I don't know what the excuse is. I guess the CTO is too busy just dumping shares as fast as humanly possible. That freaking turd, Jeremy Rochelle, or whatever the fuck his name is. So let's run through, guys. Max Payne, they're still seeing at $8. It's shifted quite a bit since yesterday to the downside, obviously. Um, I just when you see the options, like, okay, there's a ton of calls at 8 now. Obviously, they're going to kill those. So, I mean, I expect the stock to move up into Friday, but not that much. I mean, because my thesis, as it were, has been shat upon by the market makers and the powers that be. They're like, aren't you upset that you were wrong? Don't you think it moved the other way? You said it go up and you go down. Aren't you going to hang your head in shame? Aren't you just going to go, no, I don't care. I'm just guessing. I'm just giving my opinions. There's absolutely no qualifications to talk about this crap on YouTube. You can just say whatever you want, and if people are stupid enough to listen to what you have to say and have little enough to do. Anyway, guys, I don't want to insult my audience the whole time, but how about a nice football? Okay. Yeah, I mean the stadium, the football, me, I'm shaped like a football. I'm more of a pear shape, but Good listening, rock polishing kit, but why, Danny? Why what, Tyler? I'm sorry, I'm confused myself. The CTO should be dumped out of the highest window at SoFi Stadium, just like those shares he's dumping. Yeah, I mean the guy's supposed to be very smart and very good. That's what they say, but nah, Tyler, you're good, buddy. You just have bad taste. It's not a crime. A Christmas Story movie. How about a nice? Oh yeah, okay, I got you now. I haven't seen that in a long, long time. Um, Guys, we got 50 brave souls in here. Let's talk about Athletico Physical Therapy helps clinicians conquer student debt. And guys, let me go through some of the bullshit I've written up on the whiteboard before we get into this article. I talked about B of A, the unrealized losses, still a good quarter, and why? Because they bend their customers over. And that's really what it is. Whether it's their corporate customers, their Wall Street clients, their IPO clients, their da da da, they sell you shit. It's not just Goldman who's selling shit. Like all these people sell you shit. And why? Because you used to choose a bank. You go, how do you choose a bank? You know you're not going to get any interest. You have no options. You're not going to go to a credit union. You're a moron. You're not going to go get a good interest rate. You're lazy. All you wanted was the closest ATM to your shitty bachelor apartment. You're like, well, I don't know. I don't like Wells Fargo, but they got an ATM down there in the kiosk near the Starbucks, and I like to get cash $20 at a time because I'm a big turd and I always overdraw my account. So, like, that's how you chose. Literally, you're like, what bank is closest to me? They're all the same. They all screw you. They all have horrible customer service. I mean, they're not all like Wells Fargo where they're just a massive, massive fraud and, opening up accounts you didn't ask for and all. And you see that lady avoided prison. The one lady, the one person, well, there should have been people going to prison wholesale. They were committing litany of felonies. A litany of felonies, identity theft, wire fraud, bank fraud, everything you could think of. They could have, but what happens? They charged one lady who was in charge of all this whole criminal conspiracy, organized crime scam. And I think the Justice Department was asking for 6 months in jail or something, and she got zero time. She got zero time. I think she got fined a couple $1 million, and I think the same lady got like some absurd like $10 million severance. I don't know how shiny I am right now, guys, but my glasses are slipping off my face as they're wont to do when I get ranting up. Um, Now I have a piece of something on my glasses, which is even worse. But in any case, guys, let's talk about. Do we want to go to the whiteboard? Do we want to go to the computer? I don't. I have to crane my neck around because I haven't figured out how to make that camera pop up to the wide angle, and I barely can operate this technological marvel called YouTube streaming we have now. I just want to talk about it. Okay, bank earnings in general so far. We've seen Chase, we've seen Bank of America, we've seen a lot of the others. The defaults are not horrible. So SoFi is going to be better. SoFi has better customers. SoFi customers have better credit. SoFi customers have higher income. SoFi customers have more education. SoFi customers are generally better looking, more interesting, happier people than the rest of these freaking turds at these regional banks, the mega banks, the credit union customer, the people who just keep their cash under a mattress. Okay? Those are ugly people. They're short. Many of them are swarthy, homely, hairy people. You do not want to be associated with these people. You want to be one of the young, beautiful, affluent, up and coming SoFi customers. And I'm not telling you what to do, guys, much the same way I would never tell you to buy SoFi. Buy SoFi. Buy SoFi immediately, early and often. Buy SoFi. Buy any dips. The same way I would never say something that irresponsible, I would also never tell you to switch to SoFi. Put your money in SoFi. They actually pay you interest. Hey, turd, can you say which is more? Can you do a little, que es más macho, that TV judge Marilyn, or give me a little Judge Judy, give me some of her homespun wisdom, but do a little analysis. Which is more, 4.5% or 0.05%? Do you want to get kicked in the balls or do you want a free ham sandwich? Like, These are not tough decisions. You don't have to make a decision based on where your ATM is anymore because you don't need to get $20 cash because you can just use your goddamn credit or debit card or your Apple Pay. You can pay with your watch, you can pay with your eyeballs. Oh, they're developing a system. Samsung is developing a system where you could just fart on the payment terminal and you will be paid. You don't even have to have a card, a watch, a wallet, nothing. It's AirPay. They call it AirPay. It's an air biscuit. No, guys, I'm loopy. I'm sorry. This live stream's going off the rails. Let's talk about this article. Because the whiteboard, I have to turn around. It makes me hurt my neck, and I completely forget about what I was going to say. So, Athletico Physical Therapy, which I guess is one of the top physical therapy places in the country, big chain. Um, they're basically partnering with SoFi. SoFi at Work announced the launch of a new partnership that will help clinicians pay down student debt faster, putting them on a path toward financial independence. So, beginning January 1st, Athletico will contribute $100 monthly toward eligible clinicians' student loan debt. And this is a tax free contribution, and over time, it will help employees save up to $16,000 off their loan after 8 years. Wow. That's a huge savings, guys. That's amazing. Pay the loan off 20 months faster. So it's available to all 3,400 physical therapists. So, I mean, granted, 3,400, it's not, it's not but you guys have to remember, this is the ripple effect. This is 6 degrees of separation. You guys all know Kevin Bacon. You just don't know you know Kevin Bacon, but you do. Next time you introduce yourself to you not feeling that confident, don't imagine people naked. Just say to yourself, I know Kevin Bacon. Okay? Kevin Bacon did Footloose. Okay? Kevin Bacon did Whitewater Summer, motherfucker, with the kid from Rudy. He made those guys traverse that crevasse on the rope, and he's shaking it. He's trying to. What's that guy's name? Sean William Scott. Trying to kill the kid. He just doesn't like him because he's kind of weak. He's like a weak kid at a summer camp, like adventure, and goes completely off the rails. And this guy Vic, he's just a complete psycho. He's like grip it and rip it. He's like country Mac, and then he almost ends up murdering this kid, just completely fucking losing it. Um, not turdy. It is turdial advice. It's remedial advice. It's returdial. Tremors, yeah, another great one. Absolutely. He's like, that'll make him think twice. And then the fucking Alan Thicke gives the guy a gun. It's not even loaded. The little teenager. He's like, you motherfucker. Kevin Bacon in the bicycle movie. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Good call, Payush. Good to see you, Payush. Haven't seen you in a little minute here. Always see you in my comments, and basically you're always loading SoFi. So like to see it. What's up, C-Bar? It is in fact hump day, and here's your head hump. Danny Deals, the head turd, the head hump, the head honcho. So anyway, guys, basically this is a way, this will get more customers. It's a way to get your money right. And what I like about all these B2B things that we're hearing about, not only through SoFi at Work, but through Galileo, it's exposure, guys. What is this setting us up for, this B2B? It's setting us up for business banking. It's setting us up for business lending. It's setting us up for benefits administration. It's setting us up for more retirement 401k. And it's also setting us up for more just corporate exposure, which will bring, I think, more IPO activity, which is very, very good for SoFi. And you're talking about Galileo just pushed into B2B. Charge card streamlining accounts. It's like basically a program, big companies, big organizations, universities, governments, whatever type of agency you're talking about, they have charge cards. So it's expense accounts. Like you don't do it and then write it down expense. You just put it on a card. But it's very hard to administer. The accounting is very cumbersome. You have to match up everything. This new system for SoFi will allow all those cards to be treated as one account for payment purposes. It'll automate things. It'll save the clients a lot of money. And then they have the buy now, pay later function for B2B, which is essentially, a buy now, pay later for business. It's essentially an interest-free financing program that will allow businesses basically free instant financing for 6 months as long as they're qualified. So it's a great option. If you have to make a big purchase, maybe it's not a capital expenditure that you're going to finance over many years, but maybe it's something kind of in that middle area where it's not just a quick supply or something, but it's something that's kind of a mid-size expense and you don't have the cash. So this is going to be a great option. And like I said, this is setting the stage. Now, what I want to see is not just those two products. I want to see that business productivity loop. Just like we have the consumer productivity loop, we have student loans, home loans, personal loans, credit cards, trading, all the products that we have. We want to see that buy now, pay later. We want to see the charge card streamlining. We want to see business banking. We want to see business lending. We want to see benefits administration. We want to integrate, SoFi, the benefits, the charge card stuff would integrate great with the travel stuff. So, those are one and the same. Why not? If you're using SoFi's charge card system, give an even bigger discount on travel. Get this all in the ecosystem, guys. This is the point of the loop. This is thinking outside of the box, but SoFi needs to be get the low hanging fruit. We already have all the infrastructure, all the software, all the banking, licensing for consumer. Push that into business. It's free money on the table. Where are we going to expand? We're expanding into Latin America. Great, but let's expand there with more options. Let's expand there with banking. Why? I don't know if we're going to be able to compete with New. New obviously has grown very, very quickly, but I think SoFi's greater connections to the United States, get into the remittance business. That's a very, very lucrative business. Go after Western Union and some of these turds that charge super high fees. Let's help people in Latin America get their money right too. Okay, I don't know if you prefer salsa, reggae, cumbia, reggaeton. What kind of music? Do you prefer? But I'm not sure what the difference between all of those is. But basically, all of music has devolved into some kind of Latin beat with some guy mumbling rap music in English and Spanish or a combination. I mostly blame Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, because I don't, other than those sort of light glasses that are halfway between sunglasses and regular glasses and tinted brown and that Pitbull gold head shave razor, I'm not sure what the guy does. I'm not sure. Can anybody tell me? Can you tell me in the comments what the fuck Pitbull does? Like, I know he's in Miami. He's very sexy. He's got a shaved head. He's dancing. He dances like this, like little, that's a great Family Guy where, Pitbull's there with Stewie. Very, very funny. So, loan aid, support staff, wellness. It goes through all the benefits of this thing. Let's move right along, folks. We like to keep things moving. Don't like to stagnate forever and ever. Rambling like a fucking imbecile. Galileo introduces corporate credit solutions that streamlines B2B expenses. What I was just talking about. There's a lot of articles kind of out on this. They did a big press push. So Galileo Corporate Credit Solutions simplifies the process, introducing a central account with a single credit limit. So instead of each card having a limit, each card having a payment, it treats it all as one big account, streamlines it, makes it much, much easier. So they had business-related expenses face the challenge of keeping track of multiple account balances, credit limits, payment times. So it's outdated, and this simplifies the tracking management of multiple employee tries real-time visibility to available credit across all connected cards, one single repayment at the funding account level due at the end of billing cycle, enhanced security and control over all expenses. And let's face it, guys, a lot of employees don't exactly play this thing straight. They get personal stuff, they kind of cheat the system. So I think SoFi, as a best in breed tech stack leader, is going to be able to just help keep people honest. And if any employee gets out of line with their expenses, Noto will personally come down and flog you with a wet noodle. And also give you recommendations on windbreakers, hairstyles, and skincare products for the discerning gentleman. Chia Pet is going down on October 30th. I think Chia Pet just laughs at us because he gets paid to just say stuff. And I mean, he's not doing research. He's like, okay, he's looking for 4 cents a share profit in Q4 2020. The only thing I'll say though is if we really do not get that soft landing, and if they raise rates once or twice more, and we do get into a deep recession, I mean, he could very well end up being right. I personally don't think that's going to happen. I think, they'll be making at least double that by Q4 2024, perhaps even more. But I mean, the Chia Pet is entitled to his opinion. But when I see him come out, when I see sort of this activity start, I'm thinking, this looks a lot more like Q1 than it did like Q2, and that's why I'm looking for them. I was looking for them to run up the stock a bit before the ER and attack it after, and I think that makes sense. Also because the short has increased, but a lot of people are short line. It's just like everybody's afraid. All the institutions, the hedge funds, they're hedging. Like, not hedge funds don't always hedge. And naked shorting is a fact of life. But I think now it's just capital preservation. People are very, very conservative. Everyone has bills to pay, even hedge funds, even banks. People are just being very conservative. They don't know what's going to happen, but I think no one is expecting SoFi to make a net profit this quarter, and therefore the stock is open to attack. Particularly because defaults probably will increase a bit. I'm looking for good growth, but I'm looking for explosive diarrhea growth in Q4, like just Lloyd Christmas in Lauren Hawley's Aspen Mansion, big place. Um, that type of diarrhea with where Harry Dunn slipped him that laxative to pay him back for the Frida Felcher incident. You guys remember Frida Felcher? He's like, you know her? He's like, yeah. Well, I heard you tell me about her. Um, Great girl. Anyway, guys, Dumb and Dumber, one of my favorite movies of all time. Matt Flo, hello, Matt. How are you today, good sir? I think Matt as was the one who left the comment. Is that you, Matt, saying I was not qualified to make these statements? I agree with you, Matt. Matt's a very wise man. He's a stickler for the details, and he likes qualifications. He wants to voir dire my bona fides, and if you voir dire my bona fides, you're gonna find the emperor has no clothes. Oh, that wasn't you, Matt. I'm sorry. I don't remember who that was. But anyway, thanks for watching. I don't care. You can criticize me all you want, and I still appreciate you watching because a lot of the stuff I say is just stupid as shit, and so it warrants ample criticism. And I hope some of you guys are not so SoFi cultish or Un Poco Mas cultish or Danny Deals cultish. You got to keep me honest. You got to tell me how it is. If I'm looking heavy, if I'm looking, some guy the yesterday. Oh, was Matt was the one who was saying I was looking high, or he thought I was high on drugs. Now I'm just on a bunch of espressos. I don't know if that was him either. I'm attributing everything to Matt Flo. I don't know why. All the negativity that I have swimming in my, I'm just projecting it all onto Matt Flo. I don't know why. Maybe I should give it to someone else. Kostas Besas. I really enjoy saying Greek names. They sound very regal and like you know what you're talking about. You might be a philosopher. You might, if you're trying to pick up chicks at a bar, you want a Greek guy with you. You're like, hey, ladies. Hey there, ladies. This is my good friend. He's like, oh, what's his name? Bob or, Tom? He's like, oh, yeah, the Caddyshack quote. That's right. See, Matt, I'm getting old, brother. I can't remember who said what. And there's a lot of Matts. And he's like, um, so I don't see it going to 15 for a long time. Yeah, I mean, I don't either, but it depends. Like that SoFi has a lot. They have their fingers in a lot of pies. They have their irons in a lot of fires. It's not inconceivable that SoFi could strike a larger deal with the NFL, another professional sports team. There's all kinds of things that could be on the horizon that could get SoFi to that next level. I don't see it going to 15 right away either, but I mean, remember, guys, the stock went to the mid 20s three times, and I know that was during sort of that irrational exuberance, as Dr. Greenspan would say, but the stock has been there. I mean, it's been there. So there is a history, and people have bought the stock in the 20s, and so there's no reason people won't buy the stock in the mid teens, but it has to be based on fundamentals. It has to be based on common sense. It's not going to be, those days where everyone was sitting at home during COVID and just collecting massive unemployment and all these checks and stealing PPP money and all this other stuff. Like, everybody was like not paying their rent. And they're just buying idiotic sofa and buying Tesla at the top. And, I saw a stock Hylian. They're basically a company with a tilt up small warehouse somewhere in, West Texas. And some engineer, Healy, is a smart guy, is making like hybrid semi trucks basically and a generator. And I was like, the electric vehicle craze is going crazy. I was like, this is interesting because trucks idling, it saves fuel with this generator. It seems like it saves gas. They can retrofit. I was like, I'll buy a few shares. And then all of a sudden, the stock ran to $50 a share. Um, and the guy, Thomas Healy, I think was his name, he's a young guy. He's like a really good guy, smart guy. It's not his doing. I mean, he doesn't know that all these SPACs are scams. He probably does. He probably made some money. But at one point, he was like the youngest billionaire in America. They're like the youngest new billionaire. And it's like, they have not sold anything. They barely have a product. They have a prototype of a hybrid add-on, and they're like, Guys, I mean, that was an absurd time. I agree with you. But if Hylian can run to 50, that's a shell of a made up thing. I mean, now the stock just went to 60 cents, guys. So if you think SoFi going from $25 to $5, I mean, during the SPAC phenomenon, I mean, look at some of these other SPACs, guys. It's like, it's not that crazy. I mean, Lucid is another one. Like these, a lot of these were in the EV space, but there were others as well. I mean, we have to today is a more sober day. There's not all this free money, and the high interest rates and the high bond yields are going to make it even less euphoric, less illogical. So yeah, I have to agree with 24 hours to live. Depends what you mean by a long time. Like I definitely think in a year the stock can be 15. If Q4 is an absolute blowout, look for it to pump to 15, and it'll probably deflate very quickly thereafter. Um, Nelson, yeah, guys, don't, guys, I don't know, guys. It doesn't 3 years. I mean, what do you base that on? I mean, it all depends. I mean, if they keep up, 30% top line growth, it's going to be 15 a lot sooner than 3 years because they're going to be making a lot of free cash flow. Now we have a big recession, something goes wrong with the business. We can't just say, hey, we know what's going to happen in 3 years because we don't. I mean, frankly, the stock could be, $50 in 3 years. It could be bankrupt. You just don't know. I mean, but so far the stock's looking very stable. In 3 years, I think the stock will be well above $15. It's my opinion. But everybody's entitled to their opinion, guys. There's no reason to yell at one another. Um, anyway, yeah, guys. So what else is going on? Payush, Weird Science had the bully. Yeah, that's true. There's a funny story. Like my friend Robert Downey Jr. had crashed his car in Malibu, I guess, when he was all, and my friend ended up like picking him up and he was just running from car to car, I guess, trying to avoid the police or something. But those were crazy times in Los Angeles, Hollywood. Chris, catching up and joining now. I feel like Lieutenant Dan. I locked both my legs. Yeah, train took like five or six of my legs. That's funny. I work for XL Fleet. Oh, really? Cool. Um, Doing best SPAC ever after DraftKings. Yeah, DraftKings, I mean, DraftKings is a legitimate company, guys, but their spending is just absolutely out of control. I think that's one of those companies where the founders don't really know how to manage a business of that size. Um, yeah, it is a big jump, 24 hours to live, but you have to remember like the stock went from what was it? Popped from 950 to 1150 on not much. I mean, they're not making profit, no institutions coming in, not massive insider buying, and then it went from $4.50 to $10.30 in like a month. So this is a stock that makes huge moves. I wouldn't be at all surprised. And I'm not saying 9 to 15. I'm not saying it'll go into Q4 at 9. I really don't think it will. If the growth story is intact, I think it'll be significantly higher. I mean, remember it was at 650 before the previous ER and then 950 before the last one. So if the growth story is intact and people think the company is growing and staying on track and performing well under adverse conditions, I don't know, that it'll still be at 9 going into Q4 ER. We just don't know, guys. I think you can say, hey, do I like a company long term? And you see all the projections going out. You see like the napkin math on Tesla, and you see people make a lot of predictions. But realistically, as a retail investor, we're putting our faith in the business model. We're putting our faith in management to execute. And we're moreover putting our faith in management to be able to adapt and overcome challenges. And there are going to be challenges, guys. In the next 3 years, think about it. We're trying to expand into Latin America. We're trying to get business banking going. We're trying to get a full trading platform. There's going to be pitfalls, guys. So there's going to be ups and downs, but I think the stock will certainly track higher. I mean, it was an offering price of $10. We're sitting below $8. Um, I just don't think 15 is that big a stretch. You have to look at the price action, how this stock has moved. It doesn't necessarily move like a normal stock. I'll just say that. Like the volume used to be incredibly high, and then like I said, if you look at the last quarter, there was a ton of variation. There was different institutions coming in and out of the stock. This past quarter, everyone has been playing it very tight. Cash on the sideline, algo in complete control of the stock. So could it be lower in 3 years? Absolutely, it could. Could it be 15, 20, even higher in 3 years? Absolutely, it could. None of us know exactly what's going to happen. None of us know what the macro is going to be. None of us know if management will continue to execute. And it looks like growth is slowing, to be sure, and that's not a good thing. But again, we're just starting to push into Latin America. We haven't even got into the B2B side. We haven't got any growth out of Galileo. And I think that was a point somebody was making in my comments, in my video, either, I don't know, last week or a couple days ago. It was basically that SoFi has not started to work yet. Like, nothing that they're planning for the long term has really come to fruition yet. And the guy who I was thinking of, I can't remember his name, but he was making the point Galileo is the key. Galileo is the differentiator. Galileo, the AWS of fintech, is what's going to drive this company to the next level. Yes, they can be a successful bank and they can grow and they can make profit, but if you want to talk about that tech valuation versus the bank valuation, you're talking Galileo, and Galileo has to start adding big fish. Who's right, guys? The people who say we overpaid for Technesis, that it's not best of breed, Galileo's pretty good. They're like, hey, Galileo's a B plus company, Technesis maybe a C minus, D plus company. I've read a lot about this stuff, guys, but I just don't know enough about banking and fintech infrastructure and software and all those topics. I'm just not a tech guy, guys. I'm a real estate guy. So that stuff really is outside of my skill sets. I don't know enough to know if SoFi really has the best in breed. I don't believe that much in the CTO, but remember, the CTO of SoFi is not running Galileo. Galileo runs independently. So will we be able to get anything going there? It's very, very hard to say. Will somebody come out and trump us and they will become the AWS of fintech? I know Apple was wanting to do it. Goldman Sachs was wanting to do it. Like, a lot of these companies want to do it, but they can't do it. Like, of course, Robinhood wants to compete. Ally Bank wants to compete. Which they're a much bigger company, obviously. Discover wants to compete. They're not necessarily competing for that, fintech backbone space, but I know there are other companies out there. Like I said, I don't know that space well enough. I don't know the topics well enough to know, can SoFi actually dominate that space with Galileo? I hope so. I do trust management. I believe in management, but they're trying to make a major transition from sort of a mid-size, mid-tier company going after small fish to companies trying to land that giant marlin. Like I said, old man in the sea. Now, do you sometimes you eat the bar and sometimes the bar eats you? That's the way life goes. When you go big, you're not looking for small clients that aren't going to be profitable. You're looking for those big fish that are going to really land the contracts at the end of the day. Um, Okay, so getting some calls here, guys. Let's go back to the whiteboard because I'm kind of bored of looking at the computer. Maybe I'll blah blah about some notes I've made up here. Maybe I'll read some of your bullshit. See what you turds have to say. Yeah, that would be awesome, Costas, if they advertised on the Sphere. Like that thing is incredible. I saw that being built. We were staying at that new God, what was it? It was one of the new hotels. And we had a view of that thing under construction. It was just freaky, and I've heard people now, the reaction is just amazing. Yeah, so we should sponsor that turd if we can. I think it's owned by Madison Square Garden, so I don't know if Noto has. I think Madison Square Garden also owns the Fabulous Forum, which is right next door to SoFi Stadium. That's the Kia Forum. I believe it is owned by Madison Square Garden, so that is definitely a SoFi connection. SoFi Stadium and the Forum kind of share parking, and I don't think they're owned by the same company. Like Crunky is one, Madison Square Gardens, and I don't think they really get along either because the Inglewood is now building a new basketball stadium. for the Clippers, but that's going to compete with the concerts and events that were going on at the Fabulous Forum, which is where the Lakers used to play before they moved to Staples Center, and Staples Center is now Crypto.com Arena, and I think it won't be Crypto.com Arena very long. Blah, blah, blah. It's M Russo 215. Shout out to the OG, M Russo. Thanks for stopping by. Always a good supporter. 15 when profitable. I mean, it's really hard to say. I mean, because the profit doesn't exist in a bubble. Like they can pump Q4 at the expense of Q3 and Q1 and make Q4 look better and just pump the stock. But I don't think that's what Anthony Noto's about. So if it does what Palantir Talk did, it will take off, promptly crash back to Earth. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I agree with Doug N. You guys do the Dougie. Um, Smart guy. Usually, you do not find guys with four-letter names who are as intelligent as Doug N. But in this case, they broke the mold. So congratulations to you and your parents. They must be very proud. Short squeeze. Yep, you must have your hand down your pants, buddy, because that's the only short squeeze we're gonna see. Um, Chris, I see maybe 11 to 12 when it holds. Yeah, that's more realistic for me, also, Chris. I like 11 to 12. If it comes up to 13 after profit, no problem. I have no problem holding 11, 12, 13. Let's build, guys. I'm here for a long time, not a good time. I don't even want to have a good time. That's why I'm here with you turds instead of with friends and family and having real human connections. Trying to get validation and love on the internet. Oh my God. So needy. Um, who else do we have here? Taylor Swift Instacart IPO is part of this. Just do an IPO on Taylor Swift. Like she's so good at bilking people for money. Um, that's crazy. What is that? I don't know. I can't tell what you guys are talking about. You guys have a whole like level 3 thing going. I can't see the level 2 trading. I can just see the level 1. Morgan Stanley sucked today. Yeah, I saw that. But Morgan Stanley's business is totally fucked up. Like I looked at it pretty closely last quarter and their business sucks. Thousands of interviewees and there's 15 of us that meet a different division every month. Let's see. We will meet with the division head and they will get our opinion and direction that division's product. Okay, you guys are having a whole nother conversation. I don't know what you're talking about. Put up a chart and show us the trend lines. No, the chart does not tell the future story. You have to understand what the chart's saying to you. The trend lines, I mean, I can draw lines through points, guys. I mean, but what is actually happening with the price action? I mean, this is the channel we're in. I mean, there's nothing super complicated about it. I can draw a line from here to here. I can draw a line from here to here. I can make a chart look however you want, guys. I can just skew the chart visually and make it look different. But yeah, I'm not Felix and Friends level where I do it for law firms and professionals. Because just buy options. I like Felix. He's like, you fools, you fat Americans, just buy options. I was a lawyer in France. Like, I'm here with a golden retriever sipping wine on the Champs Elysees, and you fat turds are buying my options courses. Oh, it's glorious. We're up 90% on this trade. We're up 4,000% for the year with almost no risk. It's a strangle strategy. We've got 90% chance of success, 1% chance of failure, and 100% chance of wearing a ton of powder on our face for some reason here on vacation. But anyway, guys, LOL, DD, you are playing SoFi options to make additional money with these crazy swings. Of course I am, but I'm not going to tell you turds about it because I don't want you to lose money and you're too stupid. Not you, Faucho. Faucho Gaucho, you sound pretty bright, but a lot of these turds are dumb as hell, and I just don't want to give them too much information. I'm not an options teacher, guys. I'm not an anything teacher. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, how to invest, when to buy, and when to sell. I'm just spouting a bunch of bullshit. So you guys do what you want. Let's see. Do the Dougie. YouTube likes to swap my name. Keep the turds guessing. Yeah, always keep the turds on their toes, guys. A flat-footed turd is nobody you want to deal with. Noto for Halloween. I wish, guys. I'm not that. I need to get my fitness in line. I need to get my skincare ready. Noto would never have like acne and this disheveled big pirate look or whatever the hell you want. All I'm trying to do is put together a good look for Ren fairs, guys. That's all I want to do. I want to dress up like a pirate and you know See some breasts. Danny deals for Halloween. Absolutely. If you can pull that off, send me a photo. I will send you a free Danny deals necktie, even though those don't exist. Yeah, I sell covered calls. I sell cash secure puts. I do the smart stuff. I do the smart stuff, guys. I make money. Um, 69,000 more and sold. Ooh, you bought 69,000 shares, or what'd you buy? That reminds me of a Mitch Hedberg joke. It's like, rice is really good when you're hungry and you want 50,000 of something. Um, I went, I love Mitch Hedberg. Rest in peace, man. He's like, I went by a dry cleaner. It was 2 a.m. and the sign said, sorry, we're closed. And I was like, why are you sorry? You're a dry cleaner. It's 2 a.m. I did not expect you to be open. I'm going to walk in during business hours and say, hey, you owe me an apology. Um, Anyway, I just love that guy. He's like like kind of the yin and yang to like Stephen Wright. He's like just very similar in their comedic approach, but I love the methodology behind it. Um Let me mean, yeah, guys. I've actually talked to some people from SoFi and the executive team. They called me during the last outage. I'm not going to say who exactly it was, but I have had some feelers from people at SoFi, not Noto or LaPointe or anybody at that level. Certainly not Liz Young. Uh, God, let's see. Yo, MGR, MGR. A lot of people know MGR. What's up, MGR? You're a famous guy. Um, so far, I've Firehouse Pete was my biggest guy. I mean, he used to play opposite Dennis Leary on that show where they were firemen and fucking the other guy's wife or whatever it was. But I guess MGR might be even more famous than Firehouse Pete if that's possible. Firehouse Pete sounds like a guy who should be running like a sub sandwich organization or perhaps like some kind of grill or something with some scantily clad waitresses, a fireman theme, like I don't know, thunder. You could make it for women. Do like firemen, like a thunder from down under type of thing. Some banana hammocks. Throw something in for the ladies, guys. What are you gonna do? Um, hey, the whale's in the house. I have that many shares. I didn't buy it all at once. Jesus. Um, my wife worked with him at Twitter. Already know him. Um, Okay, cool. Twitter's now X. So hopefully your wife got out with some money, some options. And Elon didn't sue her or berate her on a Zoom and fire her due to her, competence. You want to fire all the competent people who are making the company money. Um, Geez, 500,000 shares of SoFi. Now that's more than me. That's a lot more than me. Like I don't own nearly that many, but I do. I thought I owned a lot. I own less than $1 million worth. I will disclose that. More than hundreds of thousands, less than 1 million. B boy, good to see you online. How many CSPs did you do? I can't tell if anybody's talking to me. I think most of you are talking to manager. Yeah, this is perfect because I am a huge Karen and I always want to speak with your manager, and he's finally here. I have never been able to get a hold of him. Whenever you ask for the manager, they always say, I am the manager. It could be like, 16-year-old kid high out of his mind, just in the back of the store doing bong rips, and he walks in like, I have a complaint. Like, I gotta tell you, lady, I am the man. That was a great skit. Chappelle shows like Copy Cabana. He's trying to get rid of the customers. Like, if they have Mac, tell them it's PC. If they have PC, tell them it's Mac. If they have both, tell them the whole system's down. It's like, the whole system's down. And the lady's like, oh my God, the whole system? It's like, when is it going to be back up? And he's like, oh, I got to go take a shit. Coffee. I think Coffee Cabana was the one from Eagle Eye, but it was like the same thing where they're just basically saying like, if you come into one of those FedEx King, they just basically want to get you the fuck out of there, and they do not want to help you. So it's perfect for a Karen. How many is good? Realistically, where do you see the price? Me? I don't know. It depends what happens, guys. I mean, I thought it was going to be at least 950 coming into the report, and then they were going to do a dump and pump. There will be a pump and dump or a dump and pump, so it doesn't matter where it is coming into the earnings. It matters if you're trying to time it and trade it. It matters just buy low and then buy down here at 7, almost 7, and just wait for the pump. it's gonna pump, guys. It pumps. That's what they do. They pump the stock. It doesn't work without that. Like they have to suck you in high and make you sell low, and they do the opposite. They do it with options. They're going to win. The market makers are going to win one more time, but they can't hurt you too bad if you just don't play the game and you don't get emotional. I mean, that's really the key, guys. Party time less than 2 weeks for longs. We'll see, Payush. Your lips to God's ears, Payush. Payush, the Punisher. Payush. Um, anyway, guys, there was a couple of more articles here. I had some other bullshit up here. So what I'm expecting, here's what I want to see, guys. I want to see ad spend come down. I want to see cross-selling come up. I want to see interest rates absolutely the top. I want to beat Discover. I want to beat Ally. I'd rather give people that interest. That's how you're going to retain customers. I want us to focus less on membership growth and focus more on profit growth, which means what members bring profits. I just think we have to, if we're going to pay so much for members, we have to really hone in on the ones that are going to make SoFi the most money long term. I know Noto's thought of this, but I'm just saying, I'm not seeing it in the numbers as yet. So I want to see stadium, golf, cross selling, best interest rates, customer retention, less just gross ad spend, less just cash bonuses. This stuff's out of control, guys. Customer acquisition cost has been creeping down, needs to come down quite a bit faster. Q4, Q3, to your point, to 24 hours to Liv's point, what do we expect to see? I don't know what the price is going to be, but I'm expecting to see product growth, deposit growth, and membership growth. I'm not expecting to see great EPS, and I think that's not going to translate into great numbers for the stock price right away. Q4, I want to see ad spending down, cross selling up, customer acquisition costs down, deposits continuing to grow. I want to see something out of Galileo in Q4. But critically, guys, both Q3 and Q4, we have to keep our eye on those defaults. We have to keep our eye on those charge offs. We have to keep our eye on bad loans. SoFi is very aggressive at writing down anything that's late. So they're just over prudent, they're over conservative, and I like that as an investor. But if we start to default, it's really gonna hurt the numbers. Yeah, stay for the wisdom, stay for the insults, as long as you stay and keep watching. And I don't really care because I said I don't monetize my channel. I can, but I don't make anything. I don't care. I have a good job. I have like multiple good jobs already. I just do YouTube to blow off a little steam. I think it's fun, and I don't make any money anyway, so I don't care if you stay or go, or you can go sit and spin for all I care. But I appreciate you guys that are here, and I'm glad if you enjoy it, and if you you know, for those who like us, wish us well. The rest of you don't, who can go to hell. No, there's a million people on YouTube. I'm certainly not everybody's cup of tea, so do whatever you want. So I've already talked about, I think, all the bullshit I have written up here, but I was just trying to kind of go with this contrast back from the beginning. Bank of America paying 0.05. SoFi gives customers a fair deal, which I think that's why they're attracting so much business. It makes money from being more efficient, lower costs, more diversification, and it gives back to the members. I mean, SoFi spread, you're talking 4.25 to maybe 13 on personal loan, 4.5 to 14. You're talking even their credit card rates are much more reasonable than some of the other big banks. Bank of America, your spread is 0 to 30. That's how they make money, guys. And the jig is up. The jig is up. People have a choice. People finally have a choice, guys. I got two more articles I want to go over really quickly, and then I'll get you guys out of here. I think I have been live streaming now for about 100 hours. I don't know how to see how long this has gone on, but anyway, guys, I'm going to run through two articles really quickly and then get you back to your friends, family, things of import. Yes, supper is like Bill Burr is like, you didn't eat your supper. Like, Mom, can I have a pancake? No! Got to finish your supper. It's like, if I finish my supper, then can I have a pancake? No! He's like, he said he cursed at his mom, his dad, without even looking up from his newspaper, just threw a glass of milk at him, and his mom, without saying anything to the dad, just immediately got up and started cleaning up the milk, and everybody was just silent. And like, that's when society and like child rearing used to work. That's when the family was a strong unit back in Bill Burr's upbringing, back in his formative years. But anyway, I love me some Bill Burr. Very funny guy. Okay, so this is Market Watch. This is probably written by some turd. No, Emily Berry. Oh, not a turd at all. Emily Berry. The Emily Berry. SoFi stock has fallen far enough. Former bear says. So this is a bear. This is about KBW, basically that upgrade that I told you about. Michael Perito. He's saying while some of these areas of caution remain outstanding, cash downstreamed to the bank sub in Q2 2023 should keep their tier 1 leverage ratio well above the 11% target even with continued balance sheet growth, while strong personal loan originations and stable-ish credit will likely limit the significance of any fair value mark changes. Yeah, they may have to mark, they've been marking up the loans, they may have to mark down the loans a little bit. It just depends what we see with defaults. They have, obviously, they're tracking all this stuff day by day, so they already know what's happening. They haven't warned or anything. So I think they're going to hit their numbers, exceed their numbers, but time will tell. Possible areas upside or downside could be student loan refinancing, origination levels, technology segment revenues, and credit, although based on bank earnings thus far, we think credit might show continued normalization, but likely no broad-based deterioration. Kept his 750 price target on the shares and upgraded from sell to hold. So that turd is a it's an upgrade. Is it really? I don't know. He basically is not upgrading the price target, but he's saying the price has come back to the stock and now the price is reasonable. Which it's hard to argue with the guy. But SoFi's slow burn. Why patience will? Why patience? Sorry guys, I can't read anymore. I'm kind of losing my train of thought. So we're gonna stop this. Oh, it's David Modell. Oh, God. SoFi slow burn. Why patience with SoFi stock could pay off. He writes positive and negative bullshit. It's just absolute gibberish for the most part, but let's see what he has to say. SoFi Technology subsidiary. This is good. Yeah, this partnership with MasterCard is really, really good. MasterCard is a global leader in the payment space, a big, huge company. Furthermore, SoFi Technologies launched a new marketing campaign, all in one formula. Investors should stay the course with SoFi stock. I don't expect SoFi stock moonshot gains for the short term. Long term, be prepared for a marathon, not a sprint. Completely agree. I have no idea what this thing will do in the next even couple of years. But 5 to 10 year time horizon, I think is incredible. This is a retirement stock for me, guys. I don't really care what it does after this earnings unless it's allowing me an opportunity to buy more cheap shares. I'm not worried about it unless the growth story breaks down, unless management loses it, unless things start to go bad. I'm just not going to worry. The company also has its skeptics. Investors should be able to see both sides of the debate. I'm willing to pound the table. He's pounding the table like touchdown Danny Dolev from Mizzou. I don't really think, David Modell doesn't sound like he pounds the table. He just lays out a nice linen tablecloth, nice cup of tea. It's David Modell. Everybody, David Modell for the SoFi stock. SoFi stock. David Modell. Yep, mom's a word. Nudge, nudge. Who's your mom? Nevertheless, I'm still willing to pound the table on behalf of SoFi Technologies, and I've been doing it for a while now. Not really. He's been kind of mealy mouthed, kind of a turd. I've read some of this guy's stuff. He's no Louis Navalier, but SoFi stock has been frustratingly choppy. Again, it's only frustrating if you let it get frustrated. They push it up and down. It doesn't really make any difference. Just hold the stock, buy low, sell high. It's not super complicated. This is bad news for borrowers, positive for SoFi Technologies. Student loans starting up again. You may have heard about annual student loans rate, but as high as 8.05%. It's a win for SoFi Technologies because they can make the interest payments more manageable. Again, not necessarily by lowering their rates, but by increasing their time duration. They can pay less now, and then once there's no penalties or anything, no costs to refinance. So if interest rates come down, you can refinance again, and as long as you keep your credit right. That's another huge incentive to keep your credit good, keep your finances in order, because you're going to be refinancing this stuff, whether it's student loan, home loan. Everybody's going to want to be refinancing anything they borrowed now when rates come down. So it's another reason to keep your credit straight and keep paying your bills. For repaying student loans, just says SoFi Technologies slowly but surely establishing themselves go-to platform millennials, Generation Z, in the spirit of disruption and innovation. SoFi Technologies launched a brand campaign called "All Your Ambitions, All in One App." Oh my God, I hate this campaign. I don't want my ambitions to be in an app. I want my ambitions to be somewhere in my brain or in the real world or, at least in a good book written down somewhere. But I don't really want all my ambitions to be in the SoFi app. Just want them to take care of my money. It's not magic. Like, it's not a journal. I'm not going to, tell SoFi my problems like a girlfriend. I mean, Just take care of my money, turds. Don't get too caught up with yourselves. I'd assert this slogan concisely sums up SoFi Technologies' appeal to its customers. In time, SoFi Technologies' new marketing campaign might gain traction as the company leverages advertising opportunities, NFL broadcast, wide variety of streaming platforms. One established the world's credibility is actually working with SoFi. So they're talking about MasterCard. SoFi's subsidiary Galileo's working with MasterCard, allow lenders. This is the buy now, pay later thing we talked about. Very, very good program. Good entree into business banking. And again, if your charge card or your buy now, pay later you're doing at work, that says SoFi on it, you're going to be exposed to SoFi. You're going to say, hey, why is my company using SoFi? Why is the university using SoFi? Maybe I'll check out SoFi. Maybe I'll get my money right. And that, it can't hurt, guys. Action breeds action. Money momentum. When they ask City Change, how do you guys make money just making change? It doesn't seem like there's any profit in it. You know, the late great Phil Hartman said, it's the volume of change that we make every single day. Some of those Saturday Night Live commercials were. He came in and he was just absolutely irate. He needed 2 5s and a 10 for a 20, and I was able to help him out, send him on his way. Because they were just great. I was late for a cab, and this is so stupid. Um, Bad idea jeans is like, I figure, I didn't have a condom on me, but when am I going to be back in Haiti again? He's like, bad idea. It's like her ex-boyfriend just got out of prison and he needed a place to stay, so I thought, what the hell? Bad idea. Anyway, guys, I'm kind of losing it. Let me get through the last of this article. Hold for years, not weeks. Again, completely agree. SoFi technology, 100% legitimate, truly becoming an app all in one. Don't be chopped out. SoFi stock, yeah. Don't get stopped out. Don't put stupid stop losses on. They push this stock around like crazy. Just relax, hang in there for the long run. But don't be afraid, guys, if they pump it up to 13 and you think it's going to dive back down to 7, don't be afraid to flip some of your shares. Don't be afraid to, push some options accordingly. David Modell provided compelling content and crossed the occasional line. Ooh. Oh yeah, he's edgy. This guy's edgy as hell. I mean, give me a break. I don't see any compelling content. I don't see any lines crossed. I just see a mealy mouth, milk toast, useless turd. No, David Modell. I'm sure you're great. I think he posts on StockTwit, so sometimes puts his shitty articles up there. But anyway, he's a contributor. He's over at Investor Place, guys. That's a SoFi stock. I don't know how long this has been going on, but I don't really have anything else to say. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen in earnings. I don't even know what I'm going to have for dinner tonight, but I do know I'm very hungry, and I do know that I miss the beautiful Princess J, and I am really sick of you turds. So I'm going to let you go for now. I will be back in the touch when events and my energy levels and my mood and my mentals allow me to talk to you turds some more. But for tonight, I am completely sick of you, as I'm sure you are sick of me. Thank you, Not a Lurker. Appreciate you guys joining me. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks, everybody, for all of your support here of my turd channel for Hurricane Lopez and Stock Karen. We would like to say, well, not hello and welcome. I forgot to say that at the beginning, I think, but goodbye and piss off. But anyway, hello and welcome and hello. I'm crushing in between my fingers. Un poco mas. We give you just a little bit more tonight. We give you way too much. You're welcome. Merry Christmas. We'll see you turds tomorrow or sometime. Anyway, good night.